I think if the last century was the century of expansion of the city, this could be the century of modification, transformation. And I don't think we should have a general recipe. We look for the general solution, and now we understood that we have to have general principles which are important, but then act in a quite specialized way for each area. Today also there was a lot of debate about the issue of scale. A city is the overlap with all the human actions. Many subgroups with different cultures, different interests use the city. So along the infrastructure, many subjectivities act. And this is true also in the complex processes we generate the city. So I think that these kind of events, we confront models, interpretation, instruments, but we should not anymore look for one just simple slogan. We tend a little bit to go too much for slogans. I think the slogans could be adaptability. This means to see what we can do the best of what we already have, because many things which are done, they can serve very different purposes. So this could be retrofitting, refurbishing, something conservation, sometimes demolition and reconstruction. Is a case-by-case solution. In any case, the other big issue is the relationship between the urban fabric, as traditionally we have it, infrastructure and nature. In the School of Architecture in Barcelona, there's a model with the reconstruction of the Gatapac project for the expansion. You see the nucleus, then you see the plan Cerdà, and then you see another, like 3 organisms. And there's a sort of jump cut between the 3. It's like 3 animals of different biology. Today, we have fragments of these 3. The real city is done not in just one big planning, by a patchwork of many different ideologies of urban planning. The issue is that if the plan Cerdà was still continuous, gave a total grid to the city, today infrastructure and the metropolitan area make it discontinuous. We have to accept a certain level of archipelago city. On the other side, Barcelona has a very strong urban design inherited from last century. Then there's points where these 2 things touch, or they sort of breed. Many of the design areas of the Olympic City, the end of the Diagonal zone, were the points where the plan Cerdà was weak and other elements came up, so the borderlines. So I think today we have to think of the fabric, but also the places of the interfaces between things. The great lecture of Barcelona, one is to start from the open spaces in just 20 years, to manage to ride, if the infrastructure is like a wild horse, you have to ride it a little bit, So you manage to reurbanize in different ways. Understand the infrastructure is something very powerful, but then somehow there's a film Dune where they learn how to ride worms, big gigantic worms. So I feel that the traffic engineers are like mad scientists in a way, and all the rest of the people should somehow keep this big infrastructure and like as a horse. So the question is infrastructure riding, I would call it. Taming of the infrastructure, like in a rodeo. Okay. That's the lecture of Barcelona.